What's up, y'all? YVK in the building. Here with my co-host Jack. And yeah, man, we got another week here. We back in action. We got some NFL to talk about. And you ready, man? Let's get to it.
Oh yeah, man, I'm excited about it. What a week last week! What a weekend we had!
Right.
Amazing weekend. Um, I can't believe that kick, the Jets losing by a kick. That was the highlight or low light of the weekend, I would just say.
Yeah, definitely the low light. Also that if we want to talk a little college football too, that Alabama and Georgia game was
What a game! What an
wild.
amazing game that was. I mean, 17-year-old just going out and doing something we all wish we did when we were 17. I would have to say, right?
Right. I don't think any of us could probably attain what he's done so far at Alabama. But, to each his own. Everybody, we got a new week. Can't look back in the past. So let's move forward. Some big news, though, right? Coming out of Las Vegas, Nevada, where you're at, right?
Oh yeah, Devonte Adams. I mean, can't say we all didn't see this coming. Kind of how last year even ended. I know players coach Pierce, great guy, great example when it comes to being a player and being a linebacker. I believe in the league, but um, letting them smoke cigars in the in the locker room after winning a regular season game. I mean, I don't know if that's something I would have done. I just kind of see that trending not towards winning football, which is why you see eventually Devonte Adams not wanting to be there, not wanting to be around that organization. When you don't have a quarterback to get a star receiver like that the ball, um, they're going to want to do something else.
Right.
And again, where he's going, I mean, there's just two options, right? The Saints or the Jets.
Yeah, it's only two options. That's what I see as well. He has a lot of chemistry, with Aaron Rodgers back when they played together at Green Bay. So that's definitely a good fit. They already got chemistry. Saints as well. If you don't know, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams both went to Fresno State. So those two guys also have a great chemistry. And another reason I like him to go to the Saints is they're another dome team. I think he likes being in a
Ah,
dome. A lot of people didn't see that, coming with the Raiders. They're a dome team. So I don't know if he wants to play in the cold with Rodgers, but I guess only time will tell.
I just think it's either team because, or any of those two out of anybody else, because the hype for them with the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl goes that much higher, right? Saints having the Super Bowl there in New Orleans this year, the hometown team. Then you got the Jets, kind of win or bust pretty
Right.
much. Maybe have another year after this because Devontae does have a 2-year contract, so it kind of works out perfectly with that team too. I heard a funny rumor they were like, oh, the Ravens or the Chiefs or something like that. I think that's way more far fetched compared to
Yeah,
these
I
two
agree.
these two destinations.
Yeah, the Chiefs seem like just bait for everybody to just keep liking the Chiefs all year.
Right, this is the bait team.
Bait team. We'll get more into that, as the season goes along, as we look ahead here in the future. All right, next topic here. Man, how about this Jaguars team, man? What's going on with the Jags with T Law and Trevor Lawrence, man?
Yeah, look, and you know me. I mean, we've known each other personally for a while now. I'm a big T Law fan. I don't know what's going on. I've been a fan since him since Clemson. He's a national champion. He's won at pretty much that level, which is a big level. It's a level
Right.
right before the NFL. Um, don't know what's going on there. I think it's a coaching issue, and the thing is, Doug Peterson, he's won a Super Bowl with Philly. So he knows how to deal with a quarterback that's not necessarily that mobile guy, even though T Lock could run a little bit. He's just not a mobile guy. He's a pocket passer. And they got a great receiving core. What I'm really looking for is Christian Kirk to step up and lead the way. I mean, he's a 1,000-yard kind of receiver on the lower end, but he can get it done. I think he leads the league in what is it, like the distance between him and the receiver while he's running a route. I forgot to say that stat correctly, but he's doing something, but they're just not getting him the ball. Gabe Davis, also the acquisition over here from Buffalo. Again, I like Gabe Davis, but at the same time, he needs to be more consistent. He's not that consistent receiver. He's more boom or bust, but he's there. That's like an added weapon. And then they got Brian Thomas,
Yeah,
from
right.
LSU, who the beginning of this year has been doing so great. So I don't know what's going on there when they got three receivers and a guy that could throw the rock, you think they'd be a higher scoring team. They just got to get their run game going.
And that's what I was just going to bring up. ETN, they got a good running back there too as well. I don't know what the O line's doing for them. Last week though, they showed signs against Houston. I think they're gonna trend in the a
You
good
just can't
direction.
give Stroud 3 minutes to go. 4 minutes, that was too much time.
Too much time for
Without you
Steve.
scoring a TD, kick three.
Exactly. Too much time. You got to get touchdowns against teams like that in Houston because they will score right back on you. But I think this schedule lines up for them as favorable. They're at home this week against the Colts. And if you guys don't know about the Jags and Colts, the Jags own the Colts. Their last 9 games, they're 9-0 against the spread against the Colts. So they should have no trouble this week at home. Then they go to their second home, which is London, and they play against the Bears and they play against the Pats. So that's 2 more wins that's possible. So I see the Jags, maybe they can make a little bounce back. Don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but they should definitely make some noise and get back into the runnings.
I have them around like a 500 team, to be honest. I think they're not as bad as everyone says they are, but they're
Right.
not as good as everyone thought they could
Uh,
be. They're more of a middle ground team in the offseason, probably look to make a splash, some sort of acquisition, something that kind of puts them more in a playoff available team. But we'll see. We'll see.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see in the next couple weeks. Next topic here. Let's see. We got Vikings. Are they contenders or pretenders? I'm gonna start this one, I guess. I think they're contenders. Now, I'm not saying Super Bowl contenders, playoff
What are
contenders.
you contending? Oh, okay. We're contending for a playoff.
Well, playoffs is potentially Super Bowl contenders. So
Okay.
I think they'll make the playoffs. They always have trouble in the playoffs though for some reason. Every time the Vikings get there, they'll win, be one and done, or out first round. So I don't know if they'll get over that hump. But this team, Sam Darnold, I guess he's what, the comeback player of the year or most improved. I don't know what award he should get, but if he keeps this up, I think Sam Darnold will get an award. This defense, Brian Flores, this defense is looking top notch. So I don't see any problems on their schedule. It's a few tough games coming up. I believe they got the Jets this week, somebody else pretty tough next week. So we'll see out of these next 2 games, but looks like the Vikings are for real this year.
Yeah. I mean, I like what you said about that defense too, with Brian Flores leading the way. I just think in the first half of the season they have a little bit more of a cupcake schedule compared to the second half, and depending how injuries go, it could fall apart because there's not like a big hitter on that defense that I see per se. But there's something about a contract year and a quarterback getting the starting opportunity. So I think Sam Darnold's really trying to get that big payday opportunity, and again, he could take off. Who knows? I don't look at him as somebody that does. I think eventually he falls off again, but he could, he could be something. You just never know with these guys. But it is, Sam Darnold at the end of the day. We got to
Right,
just kind of
right.
go off of what he's done in the past.
Sam Darnold went to USC, right?
Yes, USC quarterback.
Yeah, I never could trust USC quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to another USC quarterback on this next segment right here. So we got Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams. Who would you prefer? Who do you like more? Give me your thoughts on that.
I mean, look, I like both these guys. They're both Heisman Trophy winners, so you can't help but both like these guys. Jaden Daniels, LSU, he did some amazing things last year. What a talent. He could run, get out of the pocket. He could throw it deep. He's got an arm. He's a gunner. He's not scared to throw it. He's willing to take the hit while throwing it. And Caleb Williams is just when the play is broken down, he's somebody that's trying to do whatever it takes to make it work. He figures out a way, and he's a learner of the game. He progresses every week, and we've seen it early this season. He didn't have the greatest start on the planet, but it got a W, and then it was a rough 2 weeks in the middle of there. But every week he's progressed. Last week they got another win. He made some of the decisions you want to look at a quarterback like that to make at the end of the game. So I love both these guys. I think in the closer term and the more immediate term, Jaden Daniels just getting off that Heisman and the talent that he kind of has already naturally, being able to run around, get out there, almost Lamar Jackson esque. Not completely the same, but the way he moves. I think immediately he has more of that impact. But I think as time goes on, maybe even more towards the end of this season, but definitely years down the road, I think Caleb Williams um, is that guy that everybody said he is, or definitely has the potential to be. I guess we're going to have to see. But my pick's Caleb. Caleb, when it comes to long term, I think he does bring Chicago a Super Bowl at some point, or gets them there, or something like that. I think if Herbert got the hype he's got without winning, I think Caleb, while winning, deserves that kind of grace, even with some struggles along the way with that great defense they have over there in Chicago.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Right now, yeah, Jaden Daniels, he's starting off hot. But like you said, it's a long season. For some reason, the first couple games, the Bears O line would not block for Caleb. A lot of teams were blitzing, so I think they settled down a little bit. These coming weeks, Bears got an easy game this week against the Panthers. I mean, unless Andy Dalton shows up again, which he may very well, but the Panthers offense shouldn't do nothing against the Bears defense. So I see Caleb progressing every week, just like Jaden Daniels. But like you said, Jaden Daniels, he does have a lot of talent around him. So I think as the Bears get some more draft picks, get some more players behind Caleb, get maybe a little bit better run game, they'll be okay. So yeah, I
Man, and
like
not
them
to
both.
interrupt you with that, like people forget McLaurin, like scary Terry.
Exactly.
What a great talent he is as a receiver. People were forgetting what he was doing with no-name quarterbacks, or quarterbacks that people just didn't look at as great. Uh, their last year's starter is a backup in Seattle right now.
Right.
So, you put a Heisman Trophy winner in there. What did you expect? Of course he's going to take off. He's going to be throwing bombs randomly to that guy, and it opens up the field for everything else. So, that's something we should have all seen coming beginning of this season.
They got Robinson too in the backfield, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They got a lot of talent over there. So and that dual threat ability is gonna just make it easier for Jaden Daniels. I think Washington is a sleeper this year for sure. I think they'll get some more wins along the way, maybe even possibly be a wild card team. So yeah, let's see what else we got on this board here. Okay, let's talk about the Steelers here. Russell Wilson, you think he'll get the starting job back, or will they keep Justin Fields in the backfield?
Uh Man. They say when you have more than one quarterback, you don't have a quarterback at all. But this situation is a little bit different. I think you got the best of both worlds here. You got a young guy for cheap with potential long term to become something special, and then you got a guy that you know is coming off of maybe not the best rumor season. You know how people are talking about you, even so statistically, he had a decent season last year as a quarterback, and he's also won a Super Bowl before. So you have somebody with that experience, and anybody like that with winning intangible experience on your team is a benefit. It's a plus. You can't say that's a negative. Um, I think long term they're going to end up going with Russell Wilson because of what he can do throwing the rock. Justin Fields still hasn't quite proven that, even though he has this athletic ability that allows things to stay more in motion. But I think you can just tell based off of them not scoring enough touchdowns. That Steeler defense is great, is keeping them in games. That's really what's winning these games, is that defense. In similar fashion, beginning of the season, how the Bears won that first game was because of that defense, clearly, right? But the Steelers are keeping them in games. You got to score TDs to win games against the playoff teams, the winning teams, and that's what stopped the Steelers in the playoffs last year, was just not being able to score those touchdowns with Rudolph back there. And even though Fields has a lot of potential, and you want to see that, and you're thinking about the future and all that, that's great, but you want to win now. And sometimes when you're in that position to win now, and you have someone back there that's won and that can do it, it's kind of like that Flacco scenario,
Yeah.
coming in. When Watson went down, right? And not saying, Fields is going to go down, but I think, if they take another loss here in a row, they're going to start thinking about it. And then it kind of goes from there. Even if they win this week, maybe they lose next week or something like that, when they know they could have won all those games if they just had a little bit more production on the offensive end. I think Russell Wilson ends up taking that starting job. And you kind of have to ignore what all the talking heads are saying. It doesn't really matter what everyone else says. The only thing that really matters is what the head coach thinks, right?
Yeah,
And if
with
the head
Tomlin.
coach wants to make that decision, if Tomlin wants to go make that decision, then that's the decision that's going to be made, regardless of what anybody on any network has to say, or even what we have to say, right?
Yeah, true. We have no say so in the organization. We don't pay their bills. So I similar like I agree with you. It's sort of they're in a win-win situation. I mean, it's kind of the same quarterback, just Justin Fields. He can't throw as good as Russell, as you stated. So I think eventually, like you said, the defense is great, but an incompetent offense is not going to help out your defense because
Right.
you can only put up 14 points a game. All the other team needs is 17 to win. That's why I took the Colts this past week because I knew Colts were at home. They would be comfortable and get some points up. So definitely, I think Russell will get in maybe week 8, week 9, might make a start. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. Let's see, man. Let's see what goes down with that.
Let's see.
I'm excited for that. All right, Thursday night football. Tampa Bay versus Atlanta. Initially, the line came out -3 Atlanta. We got some action coming in on Tampa Bay. Totals at 44. You like anything in this game?
Well, guys, I'm not really thinking about this game as anything as Thursday night football. Um, you know, these teams they're decent teams. Um, Baker Mayfield, I mean, he's a hot and cold kind of a guy. He's been pretty hot lately. And how I look at things is the pendulum theory, what swings this way, got to swing that way, or what goes up must come down at some point. I think this is one of those games, being away in that dome, hearing those Atlanta fans, and it's a big game against a rival. Uh, I'm not going to say he folds, but I don't think he's going to have this elite level performance. I think Mike Evans does well. I mean, he's Mr. Consistent. You got Godwin over there as well. But I'm looking for, being a primetime game that is Thursday night, I'm looking for someone on Atlanta to step up. And, I think that's Bijan Robinson's turn. He hasn't had a pop it week really yet where he was the standout running back. We've been looking at him as that guy that's going to be the next running back, one of the next best running backs in this league. And, this is his opportunity to do it. So, I think he steps up. It's going to be a close game, but I think Atlanta kind of pulls it out in the end.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta in this game. 3 reasons why. One, big division game, right? These games matter at the end of the season, and you want to win these games at home because you don't want to depend on playing the Bucks at their house later in the season. Number 2, short week Thursday. Both teams are banged up. I like going with the home teams on Thursday. The other team has to travel. It's not too far of a travel though from Tampa to Atlanta, but still, got to get back. Then you got to go back. So I just see Atlanta with the run game. I think it'll be a low scoring game. Like you said, Bijan, he's a little banged up, but he's supposed to play. But I like Algier. Last week,
Mm.
Algier is a beast. So I see him. I don't know if Pitts is still out there. I don't think he's hurt or anything.
Yeah, Pitts is still out there. He just really hasn't done much.
Yeah, he hasn't done much. So I think this is a game. Maybe they'll get Pitts the ball. They'll try to, move the ball against Tampa. See, Tampa last week they played the Eagles, but the Eagles were banged up. That's why it was a blowout. I think going on the road playing this Atlanta team where Kirk Cousins he's getting more comfortable with the offense and he's coming off that injury. So I think by now he should if he doesn't get it going now, it's going to be a rough long season. So I see Atlanta pulling this one out at home. Those are my reasons for that. Yeah, man. So anything else you want to go over? Anything you looking at this week? Final thoughts?
No, I mean, I'm excited about this week overall. Oh, well, obviously we got tomorrow. We'll get on. We can talk about it then when we're thinking about the UFC this weekend
Okay.
and other things. But mainly, the thing I'm really excited for is that Chicago game this weekend. I want to see what happens in that matchup. They're home again one more time. I think Caleb Williams is actually going to have an explosive game this week. 2 touchdowns, maybe run one in, maybe even to make it 3 total touchdowns, something like that, and they pull that game out. So that's really what I'm excited about. Just kind of see how that goes early morning, and then kind of goes from there. But outside of that, in sports, nothing crazy has really happened yet. I'm sure we'll talk about it when it does, though.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see if the Jags can bounce back, get a W finally. What else is on the slate? Atlanta this tomorrow. I'm really excited about tomorrow because that's a huge game for that division. And also, random game here, but the Steelers and Cowboys. Cowboys are banged up, bro. Parsons is out. Cooks. Ooh, it's not looking good for Dallas right now. So, will Dallas make the playoffs? That might have to be a topic tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, even the talking heads today, I caught a clip where they're trying to push Devonte Adams to even maybe go to the Cowboys. But it's just
Oh,
like, come on, stop trying to
of course.
push these things. But again, we're not Jerry Jones. We don't control the pocketbooks or the purse strings. So, guess we just got to sit back and kind of see.
Yeah, man. Well, I guess until tomorrow, we'll get it going. We'll have some bets for you guys. We'll probably do a best bet show like we used to do as well. But for now, till next time, man. Y'all take easy. This is not financial advice. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, I don't judge. Eat how you gonna eat, keep it legit. This is not financial advice. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, I don't judge. Eat how you gonna eat, keep it legit. And please don't bother me, rather in advance. Or you hit the lottery, buy new commodities.